Oh yeah, talking point platform, TTPTV. Oh yeah, Unale we pledge, we love and loyalty to we sweet, sweet mama salute. Now we all come together as well on for tomorrow. Now we go make salute.
Yes, family owner, welcome back to yet another very important segment where they come through the Talking Point platform. My name is Mohamed Kagbo. Today we get two issues and we can look at. First and foremost, we look at the endorsement where the former Deputy Minister of Health and Sanitation don't do. They don't endorse Dr. Samura Kamara because always time. And secondly, we look at the plea, we look at the suffering of the Sierra Leoneans when it comes to the tariff. How it's so painful the amount of money where people in the spend right now just for talk, just for get 15 megabytes. And this, it on the board for a very long time. Well, can you know some of it, and you don't even go international self, where it means people get for be get for be very, very constructive now. Therefore, take your time to use the data now because it seems as if there is no other way out for you. I'm not going to say get the opportunity for send you text message. We'll go read it here shortly.
Talking point platform for news every day. Now we can't alone for education, entertainment, political affairs, TV. We put enough Tanga one inside Sierra Leone like a big quantity. We breeze not a shit TV.
Yeah, so we'll go straight to the point. Now, before we reach first to Dr. Samura endorsement, most of people are on the follow we now. When I don't say we don't take up this issue about this tariff for a very long time. We don't follow the pattern. Now, finally, we all don't know say as this thing a deal done. There's nothing government can do about it. In fact, people suggest, and some evidence suggests that governments are aware about this increment in tariff. Although the mobile company then give them excuse, but anyway, let's not talk for them. Listen to what the mobile, the reasons they wouldn't give will make them decide finally for increase the tariff and take even the midterm bundle. Listen.
The two giants mobile company them now the country, AfriCell Salon and also Orange Salon. They prepare now for increased price, if not increased tariff. Where then they are this money for talk about that and prepare Sierra Leone people in mind. Well, mobile company, people go don't know by now, are the biggest employer them in the country, and same also they pay the again as the biggest employer, and so then are the people that where they pay tax the highest also in the country. From 2017, we dollar now be 7,258 to now 2023, we dollar about 19,000. No increments, no make from the mobile company them. Well, from last year November, they don't prepare on how they will try for CCA themselves make profits in the country. Well, every day inside November for prepare Sierra Leoneans their mind. Today now then they are for tell me what to happen after about 2 months where then they prepare for this. When at the program, I want to welcome Joabas Bangura from AfriCell and also Kamon Omar Sherif Abbas. A Komon-Tok Orange Salon. From November to now, when we can begin discuss this program, let's start with you, Joabas. How markets, how business they go?
Well, it's been a battle for stay alive. I've worked with AfriCell for 17 years. I haven't seen this kind of stress that we have had to go through. And it's also very, very important that to say it wasn't just November last year that we started this. Every year we had raised, anytime the dollar they go up, like how we've been they go up till you don't reach 19. So we had raised this every year with NATCOM. Every year to say we are dying or things are difficult or things are difficult. Obviously the events of 2022 were so, they were so drastic from the war in Ukraine with Russia. And supply chain during COVID just changed the dynamics drastically. We are now at a point where we cannot continue without, fold up as a sector. It's very, very difficult, very, very challenging at this moment. That's why we started this process. The law say when two conditions are met, the NATCA law and the old NATCOM law say when these conditions are met, one, cost of living jack up significantly, the price exchange rates jack up significantly, NATCA should trigger the process where we review tariffs.
All right, so they can't talk about the whole process. I just ask how business. So being in business bad.
It's tough. It's super difficult.
So tell you, okay, for Orange Salon, make I just bring in Mr. Abbas. Okay, Mr. Kamal, sorry. Mr. Kamal from
honestly,
how business for Orange?
Business, coincidentally, I think I don't spend almost the same time as Joe Africell. In 17 years, I never see business this bad. And honestly, it's easy for see. The reason being that all the costs index them in terms of operating cost, where they determine how they run a business almost don't increase to a certain percentage. Returns now don't become a serious problem. Now, when you look at the deterioration of the leones against the dollar, it's really serious. It's about 78% increase. When we always benchmark 5 years back since the last time we reviewed the tariff, and you look at fuel also. Looking at 5 years back when it was 6,000 leones, all leones. As at now, we're now 25,000. What they pay bulk price. Not recently, but they reduce them to 19,500. So when you look at all the costs, you really see it's clear in the picture that the cost for one of business is really, really hard, and it's tough at this time.
Business is bad, Africell. Business is bad, Orange. Business is bad. For listeners, how bad is business in terms of profits and loss for Orange Salon in 2022?
Honestly, I can tell you one thing. The reason why you see we Naira today, not because we share similar cost implications, but when we go out there, it's competition between we and Africell. I can tell you, because of its competition is ethical. So because we always want to be on top, just as Africell for be on top, we try to expand. Not only within Freetown side people. Salon not to Freetown. We're expanding the rural areas. And you can imagine these rural areas we not get heads.
All right, so Famul, the war in Ukraine, they don't feel like say now we in a salon now they in war. The government is saying that the war in Ukraine, the mobile companies say the war in Ukraine affects them. Everywhere today with this they say that the war. This not the mentality of the country right now. Everything, nobody know they for take responsibility. Not from saying that the war in Ukraine, President Bio saying that the war in Ukraine, Africell, Orange, all they blame. Now take a listen about this interview where Umar Fofana do, where don't go viral. Listen.
Their running costs have dramatically increased since that time, and even the exchange rate has also really gone up.
Umaro, the exchange rate is a non-starter. The core cost here for telecommunication, you can check that, is the running of the towers. I'm talking of the diesel that they use. Servicing those towers across the country is one of the key cost drivers. Most of these towers are on solar, and most of now the electricity has improved. What we agreed at the country lodge last year was minima, and minima was something like around 20%.
There has been a huge outcry from the public. Just outside the headquarters of the Telecom's regulatory body, NATCOM, I met a small group of people carrying placards calling for a reversal. Some of them read, "Why so wicked? Data is life. Bring back our midnight bundle." Some of the protesters spoke to me.
My name is Abubakar Jallo. We all know how things are currently. We are students and we use the internet to do our work and also our assignments. And with the increments on this, I think it's very unjust and unfair to the part of the young people in this country.
My name is Delvis Stanley Coker. It has impacted us a lot, especially for content creators. We run a page called the African Dream. It also has a website where we tell positive African stories. It is very exploitative and disturbing to us and to everybody in Sierra Leone. That is very unreasonable and unfair.
My name is Abdul Karim Suri. Students are the one who suffers the most, and also the less privileged, especially the ones in the remote areas. Since the increments in data, most of them have not been online. That's the purpose I'm here today.
It was hard to hear from the mobile phone companies, but Abdul Ben Fode, the Director for Corporate and Industry Affairs at NATCOM, did talk to me.
After a protracted engagement with the service providers over time, we came to a realization that it was worth the salt for us to make some minimal increases. The last time we reviewed the tariff on data and voice was in 2017. And over time, cost variables have changed. And when they approached us with their proposals, we did what we could do with critical stakeholders, and then we came to a realization that we should do a minimal increase. And then we agreed that we should have something which people will use and it remain to be affordable.
You emphasize on minimal increase and affordable. Clearly, these increases are not minimal. I mean, for example, data is more than 100% increase.
By estimation and by the estimation from people we engaged and those consultations we made across the nation, those increases are relatively minimal. Recall that the cost of production for the people in this sector, for telecommunication sector, is virtually in dollars.
What's the rationale for the floor price system? If somebody wants to reduce their cost, why are you saying that they must not reduce their charges or tariff below a certain level?
Well, because we want to prevent predatory pricing and we want to prevent cross-subsidization.
No, but why? If the businessman thinks that they can still break even if they reduce the price, why do you force them to increase the price?
Yeah, we've not forced them to increase the price.
Well, by introducing a floor pricing is basically forcing them to not reduce the price.
Well, it's international best practice. Floor prices are not only akin to Sierra Leone. There are other jurisdictions where regulatory authorities who themselves set floor price and cap prices.
What do you say to someone who says that introducing a floor price is basically a way of you maximizing your revenue you get from these telcos as a way of providing resources for the state at the expense of the ordinary people?
Not at all, not at all. We are not a money-making regulatory entity.
And that's Mr. Abdul Ben Fode, who's the Director for Corporate Affairs at NATCOM, which is the telecoms.
All right, so Famula, that was the they just wrap them up and send them at the wall for the perhaps we all know in the country, we know of, let the message go far and wide, because this thing you don't become a thorn in the flesh of we all as Sierra Leoneans. They affect the ordinary man. I don't know technically, according to the sources so they get, governments get answer, because now when they buy cheap bundle, now when they get cheap internet and make una engage in boku talk, for shy talk then Facebook talk against the government. So technically the government then give them your own blessing, let NATCOM allowed for let the telecommunication they increased the tariff by more than 100%. If they increase maybe 10-20%, understandable, but for let them increase at 100%, then they say normal, which means something. Why make them set the NATCOM? Then set the NATCOM for regulate the bodies, then their mobile company, the telecommunication industry. So for let them not just grab and then ace price astronomically, just like what they do sooner, more than 100%, and look at the current state of affairs at the current the country in terms of salary, in terms of economic output, in terms of the living standard, in terms of how people in the survive. Things are just realistically difficult. I believe say any government will get people in our hearts, then therefore don't consider this. So we understand, but based on the factors the way are available, government is not the one at Ukraine. NATCOM they send the one at Ukraine, and the Africell, the mobile company are in the one at okay. Long will be our one first. After the one at Ukraine, then we'll come back. But if they can suffer, the ordinary man they can suffer for war no cause, and we get a government unable to protect we. This don't show you no more how incapable, how incompetent this government don't prove we beyond reasonable doubt. It don't shock the world. It don't even shock we said now. It don't go internationally. Anyway, let's put this aside. It's done. Now, done deal. I know some people in plan for protest, people in plan for go. In fact, some few people in saying go now, NATCOM, go begin the team up there. But this behind closed door, the government fully aware about this, and I don't give them blessings. So the thing don't become, we'll get for just struggle. So, people in for don't just take them time, what had it for talk, how they use the data now. Now, then they tell people, not all time you go Facebook again, we go on YouTube or any other Instagram or TikTok, go begin the team up, they make all kind fun or whatever. or particularly in the area of government, where at least they want silence people, and this for them applause for them. But I feel saying a mistake government to do, where they try very hard for keep the people in silence, because no matter how hard, I let them make the top up 200%. Salon people, and they must go out there, because people, the truth. Yes, I can say it bitter, but again, it can sweet way they really true. Particularly freedom, where you get the opportunity for search for freedom, search for the truth. When are you the one? And now the world, it don't become so interconnected that all information then we are now. All information. 20 years ago, now the government they control information. Then get a state broadcaster. What them put there, what them let the citizens know, and they know. But unfortunately now for them, the power of the social media, it don't overshadow the corporate entity there, the national corporate entity there, the body them, where the telecommunications and the national broadcasters, broadcasting stations, the way government they use for disseminate past the information. So you don't see, so that government's not happy because they don't lose control. How many people, and tell me about how many people really they watch SLBC? Tell me about when a state broadcaster and a state control. How many? Because people know say most of the thing where they go on propaganda. We also say we're not big that way. They will get people where they were actually for a very long time with thousands of people there. Just to show you, see, people then want do thing on their own. They want get the feeling for go out there and get the kind information and then make their judgments. Anyway, Lord put that there aside. Like I said, that one day now it don't deal. We just hope when the new government come, things and will turn around. Now, we all know Madina Rahman, the then former deputy minister of health and sanitation, don't finally endorse the favorite Dr. Samura Kamara as the flag bearer for the APC, because according to Ram, he's saying no one waste time. If you look at the edge, if you look at the position, if you look at the manner where Salon people are ill and believe in Samura right now, I believe say any sensible, any sober-minded politician within the APC, for even waste time. Because they see them petty others and Kaifala Mara, they all want to go out there and contest and for the flag bearers. I understand, don't get me wrong, then go say na democracy, but we are wasting time. People they waste time. Why? Because for a very long time, for more than 2 years, people and they back in the APC in a court, Komon-Tok go to court. I feel safe now. The time this now where the courts don't give, and the official don't give for do local level elections. Then when it comes to them, I feel safe for just come together. They sit down because they know say Samura is the most popular person right now in the world. Not Salon. Now the most popular Sierra Leonean right now. A popular past the president self. A popular person. So if by mistake, I'm not saying that it happened, but by mistake, APC then change Samura for any other person, the possibility made them beat them, na 100% they beat them back. Mother be you the only person we go pull on a power right now, Dr. Samura. So that I make when people like they are way smart enough, then say nothing, instead of myself waste time for go team out for flag bearer, waste money, or well, no, just support the person where already people they don't know, they don't market time. Time not there for market another person. Time not there. So this now welcome developments for Dr. Samura and for all Sierra Leoneans, because right now the alternative, we only alternative best in the country now for make sure say we pull Madabio and give chance to another person where at least we can see, we can make some differences, we can make some amendments, so we can make some improvements. And we hope and believe, say, this time around, the choice of Sierra Leoneans, it will be reflective in the sense that at the ground. So if we vote you, that I make this one time where President Bio they serve now a warning, now a lesson to all politicians for say the people that then get the power. You get for listen to the people. President Bio not to press what they listen president, not to listen president. They say in supporters and say now president way now listening president. But we all know it's not true, because how many years we don't talk here past more than 3 years about this president in traveling. But all where we they cry economic hardship in the country, that president, they waste one single invitation. In some cases, and they even ask for invitations and for go. I mean, it's when it begin 1, 2, 3, when it just kind of power, it fly 4, 5, 6, 10. People understand and they, but when it make a pattern, it means somewhere, there is something beneficial for this president. Either according to what you would understand, the money laundering they do now, for at least it takes some of the money where in fees again for go eat after they don't left power, or you just deliberately want we get Sierra Leoneans because the per diem, not too small money, more than $50,000 where if the power go one day, second day. In most of when they can do their all in calculation with him, roughly the president they spend more than $300,000 to $400,000, but each of them travel a day. You and me, you know, said the president don't travel more than 125 on record. We don't travel. How many business it don't count in the country? How then it don't translate into the benefit of the country? The answer you just get her. So we offer the couch for any sort of like breaking news and other important political news back here for Leona just get the updates information, and we want to use this opportunity for telling plenty thank you. I see this operation done high. We don't get more than 7,000 subscribers there. We tell una plenty thank you. We love una, and una sure say yes indeed una they appreciate what you do, and we will continue for do more for at least we please una, because this now we all work. And don't forget for share. When you share, you don't have for increase we reach to the next person. So at the end of the family go salon go be the message go be for Sierra Leoneans and Sierra Leoneans go benefit out of this message or they bring cantona. So I told her plenty thank you. So we got happy program here. Until then, my name is Mohamed Kago. Bye bye for now.
Talking Point platform for news every day now we countries alone for education, entertainment.